Most gardeners assume December is too late to plant anything productive. That belief leaves gardens empty when they could still be growing food. After 3 decades of year-round growing, I can tell you December offers more opportunity than most people realize. Today I'm sharing 20 of the most productive crops you can still get in the ground this month. Stay tuned for number 16, a heavy producer most gardeners overlook, plus a bonus tip at the end you won't want to miss. The first crop on our list is garlic, and if you haven't planted it yet, December is still your window. In zones 3 through 10, garlic planted now will overwinter in the ground and produce significantly larger bulbs than anything you could start in spring. If you're in zone 11, you can still succeed by giving your cloves a pre-chill in the refrigerator for a few weeks before planting. For hardneck varieties, Music is an excellent choice with bold flavor and easy-to-peel cloves. If you prefer softneck types that store longer, Inchelium Red is a proven performer with a milder, more complex taste. Plant each clove pointed end up, about 2 inches deep and 6 inches apart. A layer of straw or leaf mulch helps insulate the soil and keeps things stable through winter temperature swings. Garlic asks very little of you over the coming months. It will quietly establish roots, go dormant when needed, and then surge with growth once spring arrives. By next summer, you'll be harvesting bulbs that are far superior to anything from the grocery store. This is one of the easiest and most rewarding December plantings you can make. The second crop worth your attention is short-day bulb onions. These are specifically bred to start forming bulbs when daylight hours are still short, which makes them ideal for planting in December across zones 7 through 11. If you're in a colder region, zones 3 through 6, you can still get started by sowing seeds indoors now and transplanting in early spring. Texas Early White is a dependable choice if you want a mild sweet onion. Red Creole offers more pungent flavor and stores exceptionally well. Yellow Granex, the variety behind the famous Vidalia onion, delivers that classic sweet taste Southern gardens are known for. Plant your sets or transplants about 1 inch deep and 4 to 6 inches apart in well-drained soil. Onions are heavy feeders, so working in compost before planting gives them a strong foundation. As the days gradually lengthen through late winter and into spring, your onions will respond by bulking up. This timing works in your favor, because the cool weather allows strong root development before the plant shifts energy into bulb formation. December planted onions consistently outperform those started later in the season. The third crop on today's list is microgreens, and this one works no matter where you live. Because microgreens are grown entirely indoors, zones 1 through 11 are all fair game. You don't need a greenhouse or any fancy equipment. Oh, shallow tray, some quality potting mix, a sunny window, or a simple grow light, and you're in business. Radish microgreens, especially the Sango variety, deliver a peppery kick and are ready to harvest in about 7 to 10 days. Pea shoots offer a sweet, fresh flavor and take just a bit longer. Sunflower microgreens give you a satisfying crunch with a mild, nutty taste. What makes microgreens so valuable in December is speed and density. You're getting the fastest calories per square foot of any crop on this list. While everything else is waiting out the cold, microgreens go from seed to plate in days to a couple of weeks. They bypass outdoor freezes entirely and keep fresh greens on your table when the garden outside is dormant. If you've never tried growing microgreens, December is the perfect month to start. The learning curve is gentle and the rewards come quickly. Now, if you're finding this video helpful so far, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps this video reach more gardeners like yourself, who would also find this information helpful. All right, let's continue. The fourth crop we need to cover is spinach, one of the most productive greens you can grow in winter. If you're gardening in zones 7 through 11, you can direct south spinach outdoors right now in December. In colder zones 3 through 6, you'll want to use a cold frame, low tunnel, or row cover to give your plants protection. Giant Winter is an outstanding variety for this time of year because it's bred specifically to handle cold temperatures and short days. Bloomsdale Longstanding is another reliable choice with thick, crinkled leaves and excellent flavor. Spinach actually prefers cool weather, so December planting often produces sweeter, more tender leaves than what you'd get from a spring crop. Sow seeds about half an inch deep and 1 inch apart, then thin to 4 to 6 inches as they grow. Keep the soil consistently moist, but not waterlogged. One of the best things about winter spinach is that it grows slowly and steadily, which means you can harvest outer leaves over many weeks without cutting the whole plant. This cut and come again approach stretches your harvest and keeps fresh greens coming well into spring. The fifth crop on our list is leaf lettuce, and it remains one of the most dependable greens for winter planting. In zones 7 through 11, you can still direct sow outdoors in December and expect good results. Gardeners in zones 3 through 6 can keep lettuce going under a cold frame or row cover with minimal effort. Winter Density is a semi-COS type that handles cold beautifully and offers a nice crunch. Rouge d'Hiver is a stunning red romaine that not only tolerates frost but actually deepens in color as temperatures drop. Plant seeds about a 1/4 inch deep and scatter them lightly so you can thin to 6-inch spacing as they mature. Leaf lettuce works especially well for cut-and-come-again harvesting. Instead of pulling the whole plant, you simply snip the outer leaves and let the center continue producing. This approach keeps fresh salad greens on your table for weeks or even months from a single planting. Cool weather also slows bolting, which means your lettuce stays sweet and tender much longer than it would in warmer months. December is an excellent time to establish a patch that will keep producing well into spring. The sixth crop that deserves a spot in your December garden is radishes. These are among the most reliable cool weather performers you can grow, maturing quickly even when temperatures are low. Zones 7 through 11 can direct sow outdoors right now, while zones 3 through 6 will have good results under a cold frame or row cover. French Breakfast is a classic elongated variety with a mild, slightly peppery flavor and crisp texture. Cherry Belle rounds out fast, usually in about 3 to 4 weeks, making it one of the quickest wins you can get in a winter garden. Sow seeds half an inch deep and about 1 inch apart, thinning to 2 inches as they develop. Radishes fill gaps beautifully between slower maturing crops, giving you something to harvest while you wait on carrots, beets, or onions. They also help break up soil and can be succession planted every couple of weeks for a continuous supply. Because they mature so fast, radishes let you make productive use of garden space that might otherwise sit empty. December planted radishes will be ready before you know it. The seventh crop worth growing this month is kale, one of the hardiest and most nutritious greens you can add to a winter garden. Zones 7 through 11 can plant outdoors in December without any protection, while zones 3 through 6 will benefit from a cold frame or row cover. Nero di Toscana, also called lacinato or dinosaur kale, has long textured leaves with a rich, earthy flavor that holds up well in cooking. Dwarf Blue Curled Vates is a compact variety that's perfect for smaller spaces and delivers classic curly kale taste. What makes kale exceptional is its response to cold. Exposure to frost actually triggers the plant to convert starches into sugars, which means your winter harvested leaves will taste noticeably sweeter than anything grown in warm weather. Plant seeds half an inch deep or transplant seedlings about 18 inches apart to give them room to spread. Harvest outer leaves regularly and the plant will keep producing from the center. A single kale plant can feed you for months, making it one of the most productive crops per square foot in a December garden. The eighth crop on our list is carrots, and December planting can set you up for some of the sweetest roots you've ever tasted. In zones 7 through 11, you can still direct sow outdoors this month. Gardeners in zones 3 through 6 should use protected beds, cold frames, or heavy mulch to keep the soil workable and insulate the roots. Nanto. Half long is a reliable choice with smooth cylindrical roots and a tender, sweet flavor. Red Core Chantenay works especially well in heavier soils, because its shorter, stockier shape handles clay better than longer varieties. Sow seeds about a 1/4 inch deep and keep the soil consistently moist until germination, which can take 2 to 3 weeks in cool conditions. Once established, carrots are remarkably low maintenance. The cold actually works in your favor here because carrots respond to chilly temperatures by concentrating sugars in their roots. This is why winter-harvested carrots often taste far better than those pulled in summer. You can leave them in the ground under mulch and dig as needed through late winter and early spring, enjoying fresh roots straight from the garden. The 9th crop to consider for December planting is beets, a dual-purpose vegetable that gives you 2 harvests from one plant. Zones 7 through 11 can direct sow outdoors right now, while zones 3 through 6 should use row covers or cold frames for protection. Detroit Dark Red is a time-tested favorite with deep crimson flesh and a sweet, earthy flavor. Ruby Queen matures a bit faster and produces uniformly round roots that are perfect for roasting or pickling. Plant seeds about 1/2 inch deep and 1 inch apart, then thin to 3 to 4 inches as they grow. What makes beets such a strong choice for winter gardens is that both the roots and the greens are edible. You can harvest young beet greens for salads while the roots continue to develop below, effectively doubling your yield from the same space. Beets handle cool weather without complaint and actually develop better flavor when temperatures stay moderate. December planted beets will size up through late winter and give you fresh roots to enjoy in early spring. They store well too, extending your harvest even further. The 10th crop you should be planting this December is turnips, a fast-maturing root vegetable that thrives in cool conditions. Zones 7 through 11 can direct sow outdoors right now, while zones 3 through 6 will do well under row covers or cold frames. Hakurei, often called the salad turnip, is the variety I recommend most. Unlike traditional turnips, Hakurei has a mild, sweet flavor and a crisp texture that's delicious raw or lightly cooked. You can eat them straight from the garden like an apple. Plant seeds about 1/2 inch deep and 1 inch apart, thinning to 4 inches as they develop. Turnips size up quickly in cool weather, often reaching harvest size in just 30 to 45 days. Like beets, turnips give you a 2-for-1 harvest because both the roots and the greens are edible. The tops are nutritious and cook down nicely, similar to mustard greens. This combination of fast growth and dual harvest makes turnips one of the most efficient crops you can grow in a small winter garden. December planted turnips will be ready to enjoy well before spring arrives. The 11th crop on our list is mustard greens, a high-output leafy vegetable that loves cool weather. In zones 7 through 11, you can sow seeds directly outdoors in December without any trouble. Zones 3 through 6 will need the protection of a cold frame or row cover to keep plants happy. Red Giant produces large, burgundy-tinged leaves with a bold, peppery bite that adds serious flavor to salads and stir-fries. Mizuna offers a milder, slightly sweet taste with feathery, delicate leaves that work beautifully in mixed greens. Sow seeds about a 1/4 inch deep and thin to 6 inches apart as plants grow. Mustard greens are vigorous producers, and you can begin harvesting outer leaves as soon as they reach 4 to 6 inches tall. The plant will keep generating new growth from the center, giving you repeated harvests over many weeks. Cool temperatures keep the flavor from becoming too sharp, which is why winter-grown mustard greens taste better than those planted in warmer months. If you want a reliable leafy green that keeps producing with minimal attention, mustard greens are a smart December choice. The 12th crop that belongs in your December garden is arugula, one of the fastest salad greens you can grow in winter. Zones 7 through 11 can direct sow outdoors this month, while zones 3 through 6 will succeed under low tunnels or cold frames. Astro is the variety I recommend because it's quick to mature, slow to bolt, and delivers that signature peppery flavor arugula is known for. Seeds should be planted about a 1/4 inch deep and scattered fairly thickly, since arugula can be harvested young as baby greens. Thin to about 4 inches apart if you want larger, more mature leaves. What makes arugula so valuable in December is its speed. You can go from seed to first harvest in as little as 3 to 4 weeks, even in cool conditions. Like other leafy greens, arugula responds well to cut and come again harvesting. Snip the outer leaves and the plant continues producing from the center. The cool weather keeps leaves tender and prevents the bitter edge that arugula develops in heat. If you want fresh salad greens on your table fast, arugula planted now will deliver. The 13th crop to add to your December planting list is Swiss chard, a beautiful and productive green that handles winter well in mild climates. Zones 8 through 11 can plant outdoors this month, while zones 6 and 7 will benefit from some protection, like a cold frame or heavy row cover. Bright Lights is a stunning variety with rainbow-colored stems in shades of red, orange, yellow, and pink. Lucullus produces pale green stems and crinkled leaves with a milder, more delicate flavor. Plant seeds about ½ inch deep and thin to 8 to 12 inches apart as plants develop. Swiss chard is remarkably resilient. In mild winter areas, it will keep producing leaves all season long, then rebound vigorously once spring warmth arrives. This extended harvest window means a single planting can feed you for many months. Harvest outer leaves regularly, and the plant responds by pushing out new growth from the center. Both the leaves and the stems are edible, and they cook differently enough to feel like two vegetables in one. December planted Swiss chard is an investment that pays dividends well into next year. The 14th crop worth planting this month is collard greens, one of the most cold-hardy leafy vegetables you can grow. Zones 7 through 11 can plant outdoors in December without any protection. Zone 6 gardeners can also succeed with some cover. Georgia Southern is a traditional variety with large, slightly crumpled leaves and a classic southern flavor. Blue Max offers similar cold tolerance with a more compact growth habit that works well in smaller gardens. Sow seeds ½ an inch deep and thin to 18 inches apart, or transplant seedlings at the same spacing. Collards are built to handle cold, and established plants can withstand temperatures well into the 20s without significant damage. Like kale, collards actually taste sweeter after exposure to frost, because the cold triggers sugar production in the leaves. You can harvest outer leaves throughout winter, and the plant will keep producing from the center. This ongoing harvest stretches a single planting across many months. If you want a dependable, nutritious green that shrugs off winter weather and keeps delivering, collard greens planted now will serve you well into spring and beyond. The 15th crop on our list is peas, and December planting works beautifully in mild winter regions. Zones 8 through 11 can sow seeds directly outdoors this month, while zones 6 and 7 may succeed with protection from a cold frame or low tunnel. Oregon Sugar Pod 2 is an excellent snap pea with sweet, edible pods that are perfect for snacking or stir-fries. Little Marvel is a classic English shelling pea that produces tender, flavorful peas inside traditional pods. Plant seeds about 1 inch deep and 2 to 3 inches apart along a trellis or fence, since most pea varieties need something to climb. December. Sowing gives peas a head start by allowing them to establish strong root systems during the cool months. When spring warmth arrives, these well-rooted plants surge into production faster than anything sown later in the season. Peas actually prefer cool weather for their early growth, so winter planting plays to their strengths. In the mildest zones, you may even get pods before spring officially begins. The key is getting seeds in the ground while soil temperatures are still workable. December planted peas. Reward patience with earlier and often heavier harvests than spring-sown crops. The 16th crop we need to talk about is fava beans, a heavy producer that most gardeners overlook. Zones 7 through 10 can plant favas outdoors in December with excellent results. Aqua Dulce Claudia is the variety to choose because it's specifically bred for fall and winter sowing and handles cold weather better than other types. Plant seeds about 2 inches deep and 6 to 8 inches apart. Fava beans are substantial plants that can reach 3 to 4 feet tall, so give them room and consider staking if your site is windy. What makes favas special is their ability to produce abundantly in cool conditions that would stall other beans entirely. They also fix nitrogen in the soil as they grow, which means they're improving your garden's fertility while feeding you. The beans themselves are rich, buttery, and versatile in the kitchen. You can eat them fresh, dried, or even harvest the young leaves and tender shoot tips as a bonus green. December planted fava beans will flower in late winter and produce pods in spring, giving you one of the earliest harvests of the new growing season. This is a crop that deserves far more attention than it gets. The 17th crop for December planting is cilantro, an herb that actually performs better in cool weather than warm. Zones 8 through 11 can direct sow outdoors this month, while zones 3 through 7 should start seeds indoors or in a sunny windowsill. Santo is the variety I recommend because it's bred to be slow bolting, which means you get more leaf harvests before the plant goes to seed. Sow seeds about a 1/4 inch deep and scatter them fairly generously, since cilantro can be harvested as cut and come again greens. Thin to about 2 inches apart if you want larger individual plants. The reason cilantro works so well in winter is that heat is its enemy. In warm weather, cilantro bolts almost immediately, rushing to flower and set seed before you've had a chance to harvest much. Cool temperatures slow this process dramatically, giving you steady leaf production over many weeks. December planted cilantro stays productive far longer than anything sown in spring or summer. If you love fresh cilantro, but have struggled to keep it from bolting, winter growing is the solution. The flavor stays bright and the harvests keep coming. The 18th crop to plant this December is parsley, a slow and steady herb that tolerates cool weather gracefully. Zones 7 through 10 can sow seeds outdoors this month, while zones 3 through 6 should start parsley indoors under lights or in a bright window. Italian flatleaf is the variety I prefer because it has superior flavor and holds up better in cooking than curly types. Parsley seeds are notoriously slow to germinate, sometimes taking 3 weeks or more, so patience is essential. Soak seeds overnight before planting to speed things along, then sow about a 1/4 inch deep. Once established, parsley is remarkably undemanding. It handles frost without complaint and keeps producing leaves through late winter and into spring. You can harvest outer stems regularly, and the plant responds by generating new growth from the center. A single parsley plant can provide months of harvest, making it one of the best returns on investment in a winter herb garden. December planting gives parsley the cool conditions it prefers and sets you up for abundant harvest when you need fresh herbs most. This is a crop that rewards a little patience with long-term productivity. The 19th crop on our list is seed potatoes, and this one is specifically for gardeners in the warmest regions. Zones 9 through 11, where winters are frost-free or experience only light frost, can plant potatoes in December. This timing is actually ideal because it allows the crop to mature before intense summer heat arrives. Red Lesota is a reliable variety with good disease resistance and waxy flesh that's perfect for roasting or potato salads. Yukon Gold produces those beautiful yellow flesh potatoes with rich, buttery flavor that works well for almost any cooking method. Plant seed potatoes about 4 inches deep and 12 inches apart in loose, well-drained soil. As plants grow, mound soil or mulch around the stems to encourage more tuber development along the buried portion. December planted potatoes in warm winter zones will be ready to harvest in spring, giving you fresh homegrown potatoes months before gardeners in colder regions can even get started. The yield potential is impressive, often returning 10 pounds or more for every pound of seed potatoes planted. If you're lucky enough to garden where winter stays mild, this is a crop you shouldn't miss. The 20th and final crop on our list is a cover crop combination of cereal rye and hairy vetch, and this one is all about setting yourself up for bigger harvests next season. Zones 3 through 9 can still sow cover crops in December as long as the soil isn't frozen solid. Cereal rye is one of the latest cover crops you can plant because it germinates in cool soil temperatures that would stop other options cold. Hairy vetch adds nitrogen-fixing capability to the mix, pulling fertility from the air and storing it in the soil for your future vegetables. Broadcast seeds over bare garden beds at a rate of about 2 pounds of rye and 1 pound of vetch per 1,000 square feet. Then rake lightly to ensure good soil contact. These plants will establish roots through winter and put on growth in early spring. When you're ready to plant your summer garden, simply cut or mow the cover crop and work it into the soil or leave it as mulch. The organic matter improves soil structure. The nitrogen feeds your next crop, and you've prevented erosion and weed growth all winter long. This is productive gardening even when nothing is being harvested. And now for the bonus tip gardeners swear by. If you're planting any of these crops in December and want to push the limits of what's possible in your zone, try this simple soil warming technique. Fill plastic milk jugs or 2-liter bottles with water and place them in your raised beds or garden rows between plants. During the day, the water absorbs heat from whatever sunlight is available. At night, that stored heat radiates slowly back into the surrounding soil, raising the temperature by several degrees. This can make the difference between a crop that merely survives and one that actively grows through winter. The effect is strongest when you combine water jugs with row cover or a cold frame, creating a microclimate that stays noticeably warmer than the open garden. It costs nothing, uses materials you probably already have, and works remarkably well. Gardeners who use this trick often find they can grow crops 1 full zone warmer than their actual location. Give it a try and see what December can really produce. Thanks for sticking with me through the entire video. If you found this helpful, give it a like, subscribe for more gardening tips, and check out our other videos on growing a better garden.